What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's KB and we locked in. Now let's jump into it. Today, we're going to be talking about T-Sav, a failed teen rapper from Canada who turned hitman and caught 2 bodies for his gang before dropping diss records where he referenced what happened, and it all tied back into a giant gang war that's been plaguing their local area for over 10 years. On October 27, 2017, at around 9 p.m., the RCMP, or the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, responded to reports of shots fired in the 11,300 block of Alpine Place, a nice quiet neighborhood in Surrey. Once they arrived on the scene, police identified 2 victims who had been shot. One was pronounced dead on the scene, while the other was in critical condition and rushed to the ER. A third man was also at the scene, although at the time, he wasn't identified. Police immediately recognized the man who was fatally wounded as Randy Kane, also known as RK, a local leader of a gang called Bibbo, or Blood In, Blood Out. Due to his affiliation, investigators knew instantly that this was a targeted attack, but didn't have all of the pieces to the puzzle just yet. 40 minutes after responding to the shooting, they received another call reporting a dark colored SUV that was on fire a short distance away on Wellington Drive, and police believed that the vehicle was linked to the shooting. Investigators knew that this was linked to local gangs and warned the public to stay safe in the coming days, also urging anybody with information to come forward and try to stop any further violence from happening. That's because Randy Kane, the victim, was, as I stated, one of the leaders of a gang called Bibbo. Bibbo was started after Randy Kane and his 2 brothers left another local gang known as the Brothers Keepers, who was led by a man named Gavin Greywall, also known as Gigi. This separation between the gangs and the Brothers Keepers caused a rift in the city, putting both sides against each other. The murder of Randy Kane was a clear message, and only a month after Randy was gunned down, leader of the Brothers Keepers, Gigi, would meet the same fate. Gigi was notorious in the area, and in 2015, the Abbotsford police issued a warning to the public that he and 2 other individuals in his gang posed a significant harm to the safety of the community and anyone who may associate with them. The statement said, "We believe it's in the public's best interest that the identities of these men are known, so people associating with or in close physical proximity to them understand that their safety could be in danger. Efforts to curtail growing tensions between these individuals are being made, but we're very concerned that violence could occur in public settings." Just a year after that warning to the public, Gigi was arrested in connection to a murder that took place all the way back in 2010 when a young woman named Mandy Johnson was struck by several bullets while sitting in the passenger seat of her boyfriend's Chevy Tahoe. The police said that this crime was linked to gangs warring over drug turf in the city. Mandy wasn't suspected of being involved, but her boyfriend was. Gigi and an associate of his named Jason Hemphin were arrested for the crime in 2016. Gigi was charged with manslaughter and Jason was charged with second-degree murder. However, Gigi would never get to see the inside of a courtroom for this because the gangs got their get back swiftly. First, Gigi's brother, Mandeep Greywall, was gunned down outside the front doors of the CIBC Bank on South Fraser Way near Cedar Park Place. After arriving on the scene, police found a vehicle not far away that had been set on fire. Sound familiar to y'all? Clearly retaliation, but the gangs weren't done. On December 22nd, 2017, police responded to a call reporting a man was found shot to death in his luxury penthouse apartment on the 1500 block of Fern Street just before 8:30 p.m. The call came from a family member. Investigators arrived on the scene and confirmed immediately that it was Gavin Greywall.
A boot print outlined in chalk can still be seen on a North Vancouver apartment door. 30-year-old Gavinder Grewal, a known gang member, was found dead inside Friday night. Elevators inside require a key. It appears the suspect was able to get to the floor using the stairwell. On the same floor Grewal was found, the stairwell door, which is normally locked, has been broken. Fingerprints flagged by police are still visible.
The fact that they were, somehow able to get into the building and somehow get up to the top floor it's scary.
On Sunday, the unit's owner was at the building trying to get information on what happened. She told CTV she had rented it out, but didn't know to who.
One of the girls in the office, we left it up to her to rent our place out.
But neighbors say there should have been more oversight. At least 3 of them had made multiple complaints about noise in the unit, both to the strata and to police.
The couple below in the same corner have described it as sounding like bowling balls being dropped on the floor at 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
The property management office is closed until the new year, and our calls weren't returned. Residents now want answers. Police remain on scene of a North Vancouver condo building more than 24 hours after a known gang member was found dead inside one of the units.
30-year-old Govinder Grewal of North Vancouver was a victim of homicide.
Investigators will only say Grewal had some sort of connection to the building. They're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. Grewal had a lengthy criminal history, including extortion and drug convictions.
We believe that Mr. Grewal's murder was targeted and associated to other gang violence in the Lower Mainland.
The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, or IHIT, identified 2 vehicles believed to be responsible for the hit, a Lexus RS 350 and a Nissan Titan. But even with knowing that, this case was never solved. The lady who owned the apartment made an appearance on TV questioning how in the world her penthouse got rented out to Gigi in the first place, seemingly confused by the whole thing.
Grewal didn't own the apartment. It actually belonged to Bridget Epic and her husband. The couple only found out about what happened inside from a friend who saw it on the news.
They're the ones who told us. They phoned us up and say, what's happening in our place?
Neighbors tell the couple the door is destroyed and there is blood everywhere. They had planned to move in once the lease was up in February. They don't know exactly who was renting it.
One of the girls in the office, we left it up to her to rent our place out. And that's the consequences for that, right? They haven't contacted us, anything. And it just seems kind of funny. You would think that they would contact the owners, right?
Answers that would help them decide if they want to move in after all.
Well, the answers to her questions were simple. Gigi was able to get the property by subleasing it through a local realtor named Omin Mashinshi, who in 2018 ended up wrapped up in his own legal trouble after he was indicted on international money laundering charges for helping gangsters in Canada clean their money. After the death of Gigi, things escalated further when 2 days later, 3 members of the Brothers Keepers found and ran down on an associate of the gangs. On December 24th, 2017, New Year's Eve, at around 3:30 in the afternoon, 3 men chased another man named Jadesh Val through the door of a condo that he was renting. Once inside, the 3 men started beating Val, and one of the men whipped out a blade before stabbing Val over 18 times. Val spent 3 days in the hospital but would survive the attack. He did, however, refuse to work or cooperate with authorities in any capacity on this matter. He was later caught up in an indictment with Omer, the realtor who rented Gigi his penthouse. The 3 Brothers Keepers members were arrested and convicted of the crime, receiving 2-month sentences followed by 1 year of probation. Almost a year after the death of Gigi, another incident would take place that seemed unrelated at first, but would give the police a much needed break in their cases. On November 12, 2018, a 19-year-old college student named Yagvir Mali was driving in the area of Ross Elementary and Simpson Road in West Abbotsford. He was headed to the University of Fraser Valley, where he was in his 2nd year of criminology studies. Yagver was hit from the back by another car while on his way, so he stopped, grabbed his insurance papers out of the glove box, and got out of the car to speak with the other driver. When he did, he was ambushed by the occupants of the vehicle, with one jumping out with a gun in his hand. Yagver turned around to try to get away, but the assailant let off 7 shots, hitting him in the back before walking up on him, standing over him, and delivering a final shot to the back of his head. The shooter then got into a black Acura and sped away. Police arrived on the scene and found Molly laying beside his car with his keys and insurance papers still clenched in his hands. When police first identified him, they were a bit confused as he seemed like just a normal college kid, but after a little digging, they became aware of the fact that Yagver Mali was driving his brother's car, and while Yagver had no official connections or ties to gangs, his brother did and was a well-known associate of the gangs. With this, they were able to conclude that Jagvir Mali was killed in a terrible case of mistaken identity.
A 19-year-old university student has been identified as the man shot and killed in a brazen daylight attack in Abbotsford.
Jagvir Mali was shot multiple times just a block from his parents' home, and tonight investigators say the murder is linked to the ongoing gang conflict in the Lower Mainland.
Penny Daflos is live near the scene of the homicide. And Penny, police remain tight-lipped about this investigation.
Well, and that makes this case really unusual. Usually by this point, IHIT has identified the victim. They've not done so at this point, despite the victim being named in the community. Paramedics struggled to save that man's life just meters from Ross Elementary School. It was closed for the holiday, but Abbotsford police were here today, and the kids had questions.
I guess we'll just have to tell them that bad stuff happens everywhere, right?
There was an obvious gunshot wound to the head.
This off-duty nurse was first on the scene and tried to save the man's life despite multiple wounds.
I've seen plenty, but nothing like this.
IHIT isn't naming the victim, only saying he was 19 years old. Indo-Canadian media have identified him as Jagvir Mali, a university student.
Although Jagvir Mali's relatives say he had no criminal past, no criminal ties, police say his shooting was not random. Friends and relatives of Jagvir Mali gather to mourn at his Abbotsford home.
He was a good boy, and he was a good player, basketball player. That's what we never heard like bad about him.
His family says the 19-year-old was studying criminology and hoped to become a corrections officer, telling Global News he was on his way to class at the University of the Fraser Valley Monday afternoon when he was shot and killed. The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team says the incident was not random and is linked to the ongoing gang conflict. It's the second fatal shooting in Abbotsford in less than a month. On October 18th, a man was targeted outside a bank on South Fraser Way. Residents growing increasingly frustrated with the brazen violence.
This case also went cold for almost a year, but when a member of the Brothers Keepers found himself being referred to a program called End Gang Life, where he would begin to work with police as an informant, the story will start to make a lot more sense. Although officially unidentified, some believe that the informant is a guy named Camilo Alonzo, one of the 3 people who were present with Randy King when he was killed. However, I can't verify that information. That's just what people online seem to think. Either way, somebody turned informant and started laying out more of the details, and it all linked back to a 16-year-old rapper named Tyrell Nguyen, also known as T-Sav. The informant, referred to as AB, was also charged with an attempted murder in one of these cases before flipping, so keep that in mind when we hear the things that he said. On April 19, 2019, AB came forward to the police and informed them about his associate and some violent events that he had witnessed. AB said that he had knowledge of the shootings of Randy King, Gary King, and Camilo Alonzo, and the murder of Jagvir Mali, as well as some information about a shooting of 2 youths that happened in Surrey, unassociated to T-Sav. He suggested to the officers that he knew who was responsible for the shootings of the Kings and Mr. Alonzo and Mr. Mali, and how and why they did it. He referenced somebody that he referred to as YG, which was another street name that T-Sav went by. Police said they wanted AB to basically set up a meeting with the person he was snitching on in an effort to get a confession on tape. AB met with T-Sav on 12 separate occasions at the Edmonton apartment that he had rented in December of 2019. These meetings involved the placement of a whiteboard where the two would talk about the crimes that were committed and make drawings and references to doing that on the whiteboard. The interactions and the writings on the whiteboard were recorded by audio and video by undercover police officers. According to AB's testimony, in mid-December 2018, AB and his mother started living at T-Sav's house in Surrey. AB and T-Sav were involved in the drug trade. In February 2019, AB started living with another friend named Blake, while his mother remained living in T-Sav's house. AB said that he was no longer selling drugs and was in debt to another man named Rohit Kumar, who was another leader in the Brothers Keepers. Kumar instructed AB that he wanted the debt that AB owed him to be repaid, and if he couldn't pay it back, he would shit kick him. T-Sav suggested that AB could earn the money by bagging up drugs for the gang. AB said that he found that to be insulting. In February of 2019, AB said that he had a serious argument with T-Sav and had no contact with him until he was instructed to do so by police later that year. In March and April of 2019, AB said that his mother was still living at T-Sav's house even though he didn't. After the argument with Rohit Kumar and T-Sav in February 2019, Ab said that he began to rethink his lifestyle. He began thinking of getting out of the drug trade and having a regular life. He said he became concerned about his personal safety and realized that he was becoming useless to Mr. Rohit Kumar and T-Sav. AB said that he was concerned about his mother's well-being too. He said that he was her only child and that she had a horrible job that paid very little, and he had to do something to get her out of the situation that he felt that he had caused by being born. AB said that he lacked faith that T-Sav would care for his mother if something was to happen to him. So he said that he decided to end his gang life and got away from selling drugs. On April 9, 2019, AB approached one of the intake workers at End Gang Life, a program that was established by police in Canada about 10 years ago. It's a highly publicized program that encourages individuals who are involved in a gang lifestyle to basically end their involvement. AB wasn't really suitable for the program, so he was referred to a sergeant on the police force named Greg Foster. Sergeant Foster was familiar with AB's background and who was associated with him. AB met with the Corporal Robert Johnson 5 times between April 10th and 14th of 2019. Corporal Johnson met with AB 17 times over the next 5-month period from April to August of 2019. Ab said that he was concerned about his mother's safety because she was living with YG. AB said he was also concerned about the debts that he owed. Ab said that if he were to cooperate with police, his mother would have to move out of the YG's house and ask for money in order for him to cooperate. Between April 24th and May 16, 2019, funding was approved for independent legal counsels and arrangements were made for AB to meet with counsel, which he did. A proffer letter was forwarded to the government and the judge to basically sign off on. By May 16, 2019, independent legal counsel had spoken with IHIT. On September 4, 2019, AB signed his first letter of acknowledgement. The police wanted him to resume contact with T-Sav, even though he had not communicated since their argument in February of 2019. AB signed his second letter of acknowledgement on October 12, 2019, and said that he understood that he was now agreeing to act as an agent for the police in Canada. AB understood that he was to attempt to get information in relation to the murders of Randy King and Yagver Molly. At this time, police had not advised him of any specific means by which he should do so. The October letter of acknowledgement provides for an award payment to be determined at the discretion of the police, and it can be up to $100,000. The police advised that they were in a position to help, but in order for AB to start over and for him and his mother to be safe, he would need that money. The police were not prepared to simply just give him the money. They told him that he would have to become an agent and try to gather the evidence in order to receive the money, which he agreed to do. Now, AB and T-Sav first met for this undercover operation in person on November 15, 2019 at one of their mutual friends' apartments. Between November 29, 2019 and December 20th, 2019, investigators intercepted and recorded 40 phone calls between AB and T-Sav. Police set up a whiteboard in the apartment in Edmonton. They also set up 5 video cameras to record the written whiteboard conversations between AB and the accused, and each camera had a particular view of the whiteboard so that the police didn't miss anything. And these two went on to have conversations where they basically spelled out everything that they did on the whiteboard. During the recorded sessions, they learned that T-Sav was trying to piece together what evidence he may have left in the burnt out cars and what information the police may have. AB told police that T-Sav was a contract killer for the Brothers Keepers. This is where things start to get interesting. Earlier in the story, we talked about the Brothers Keepers members jumping a man inside his condo before stabbing him 18 times. Well, in that press release, police said that they thought that the murder of Randy King was an inside job, and AB helped them confirm this. Apparently, T-Sav and AB had been playing both sides of the field, hanging out with the Brothers Keepers and the Kings. AB said that in October of 2017, the Kangs had a Thanksgiving family dinner at their parents' house, and AB and T-Sav were both in attendance. Apparently, there was a 3-week plot to take out Randy, and T-Sav was getting in close so he could make it happen. Apparently, the night Kang died, it wasn't random. T-Sav and an associate had set up a meeting at the park in the cul-de-sac of the quaint little neighborhood they were in. They purchased jerry cans full of fuel and new clothes to wear, and T-Sav even bought some latex gloves. When Randy, his brother, and Alonzo arrived, that's when T-Sav popped out and opened fire. When it was over, T-Sav took everything, put it in a car, and then set the car on fire. Over the next year, AB continued to collect evidence, and in the fall of 2018, T-Sav told Ab that he had a new job or a hit that he was going to be doing, and told him that it was going to pay him $30,000. AB asked him if he had been paid to do a hit before, and T-Sav told him that he was paid $100,000 for the first hit that he did. Now this new hit, this $30,000 hit, would end up being the murder of Yagver Molly, who wasn't even the intended target. AB said that Sav told him that he had stolen a car, driven out to Abbotsford, followed a tracker that they had put on the car that Yagver was driving, and followed the guy inside the car around for a bit before rear-ending him in an attempt to get him to get out the car. When the guy did get out with his insurance papers in hand, T-Sav told AB that he popped out and shot him 2 or 3 times, and then once in the head to make sure that he was gone, and then left. AB said that T-Sav asked AB to pick him up and drive him to a certain location to pick up some money for the job that he did. AB drove T-Sav to Burnaby, and they parked in an underground parking garage. Someone in a Range Rover entered the underground parking area, and T-Sav left AB's vehicle and entered the Range Rover. When he returned to AB's vehicle, he had a small paper shopping bag with a bunch of money in it. T-Sav told AB that it contained the $30,000 for the hit of Yagver Molly. With all of this evidence, police had all they needed and quickly made their arrest. Some of the evidence presented in the trial included songs that T-Sav had recorded where it referenced the killing. Now, warning, these bars are awful. I'll remove the beat because it's YouTube and they'll copyright me if I don't, because they be tweaking over music, but here are the lyrics that the police used against him in court.
RPGG. Yeah, this is my life. I sold a lot of dope, so my wrist is all ice. They want to kill me, they want to live my life. I'd have done a lot of dirt, I earned my stripes. Opposition snitching, talking on the phone. Well, that put me and my brothers in the limelight. The crazy thing is that you used to call me bro. I seen that money turn your bitch to a whole pot. Know what, all that money, you can't buy respect. You gotta earn the shit, what I was taught to murder shit. Hop out the whip with the burner. I'm dumping clips, that's plural. Hold up, yo. I had no choice, I had to put food up on the plates. I heard there was a tag, half a clip into his brain. All that murder shit, stop playing, you ain't killed. I caught my first body when you was in school, kid. Brothers keeper, that's a life contract, look. I did this for my family, I gotta get these riches.
Now, T-Sav might not ever win a Grammy, but one thing is for certain, he was rapping about the life that he was actually living. This investigation spanned over 7 years, and T-Sav went to trial in January of 2024, and the trial just concluded. It ended with T-Sav being convicted of both crimes, and he was handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole for 25 years for his actions.
Well, I certainly think that Mr. Nguyen was a danger to the public. Having him off the street will certainly help with gang violence.
On Friday, the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team released the details of its 7-year investigation, E-Prosperity, linking together multiple homicides related to ongoing gang conflict in BC.
So on October 27th, 2017 at 9 p.m., the Surrey RCMP responded to a report of gunfire in the 11300 block of Alpin Place. Members attended and located Randeep Kang, deceased. Also targeted in the shooting were survivors Gary Kang and Camilo Alonzo.
On Thursday, Hitman Tyrell Nguyen was sentenced to life in prison with no eligibility for parole for 25 years. Nguyen was found guilty on 2 first-degree murder charges and 2 attempted murder charges.
At the time of the homicides, Nguyen and the Kang brothers were affiliated to the Brothers Keepers group. Tyrell Nguyen, a self-described hitman for the Brothers Keepers, was hired by members of the Brothers Keepers group to kill the Kang brothers.
IHIT says Nguyen also murdered Jagvir Mali the following year in Abbotsford. It says Mali was an unintended target.
Jagvir Mali was a young university student with no history of criminality. However, there were some individuals in his life that were involved in the BC gang conflict.
IHIT's Sergeant Timothy Parati says it's important for the public to understand the complexity of investigating gang-related homicides and why it took 7 years to wrap up this investigation.
And the length of time which it can take to investigate, arrest, disclose, and prosecute a homicide, all before a judge or jury can render a decision.
Parati says he would like people to think twice before considering joining a gang like Brothers Keepers.
There's no loyalty in gangs. These people are killing each other and then continuing to do that. So there are people that, younger people that step into these roles. It's really sad to see when that happens. We are going to work with our partners at all the detachments to send that message out that you have to end gang life, because getting into that, it shortens your lifespan.
And with that, the case of the teen rapper turned hitman came to an end. The conflict is still happening to this day, and people are still being dropped. For example, Randy Kang's brother, Gary Kang, who was hitting the attack on Randy but survived, was gunned down at about 5 a.m. at his parents' house on the 16,000 block of 30th Avenue in 2021. Now, T-Sav wasn't responsible for this hit because he was in police custody at the time, but it just shows how deep this beef really is.
Now, this morning at around 5 o'clock, police were called to a residence here in the area, 161st Street and 30th Avenue. When they arrived, they found a man with gunshot wounds who was taken to hospital, who unfortunately succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead. Now, I can share with you that our victim is 24-year-old Gary Kang. He was shot at his family residence here. What I can further share with you about our victim, Gary Kang, is that he was known to police. We believe that this was a targeted incident, and further that this, we believe, is linked to the ongoing Lower Mainland gang conflict. But we urge the community and others to please keep in mind that he is a victim of homicide. He's not the only victim in this. His family is also a victim in this tragic and senseless incident, as well as residents of this quiet community.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the story, guys. I kind of went back to an old style of content I used to make with this one. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And as always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.